Was benching Cutler the right move? Maybe, but I certainly feel strongly about it. All right, I'm recording.
I am now also...
Get all my chair squeaks out of the way.
Yeah.
You're listening to Fanboys, a TSM fancast. That's the name we're sticking with right now, still subject to change, of course. This has been a pretty light week for TSM. Dave, can you tell me what's going on in the news?
Yeah, so last week we had an eNascar race in the Coca-Cola series. Nick Oettinger, he ended up placing 23rd.
This is why I'm a Pepsi man.
He started the race 24th, so he didn't inch up that one spot. There was an accident about 55 laps to go or so that he was caught on the wrong side of, so kind of put him pretty far behind.
Is he okay?
Yeah, I don't think he was involved in it. I just think he got stuck in a traffic jam.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
So he's just annoyed. He's like, really?
Prayers for all involved.
So now he's 8th place overall with 155 points. First place has 205, so he's not super far behind, I don't think.
Still a tight race.
Yeah, but his team, William Byron Esports, is still first place overall in teams. Again, he races under the TSM organization, but he's on the William Byron Esports team. TSM doesn't have a team, they just have a driver on a team in this eNascar. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I guess you could be representing an organization as well as representing a team. And I'm not super familiar with how team play even really works in NASCAR, but I assume it's the same.
Not a whole lot to report on for TSM there. How about Apex Legends?
Yeah, so the Apex Legends team, they competed in the Apex GLL Masters Spring Tournament. This tournament, it's been going on for a month. It started April 6th, I believe, and it just wrapped up in the beginning of May. TSM actually won the whole thing. They had a final score of 172. The second place team, NRG, finished 166, so they edged out a victory there. NRG was actually up 30 points going into the finals. They were up 150 to 120 on TSM, but TSM kind of just had this miraculous comeback, or NRG had this insane throw, or both. And then TSM kind of squeaked it out, and they won the grand prize, which is $15,000 for winning that thing, or getting first in that.
$15,000 for a month of work. That's not bad.
Yeah. It was a pretty big team. There was a lot of teams on it. It's kind of similar to that Valorant tournament where it's just a ton of teams. I think it was like 160 or something like that.
Is it a month long? Because that's how long it takes to play a battle royale.
Yeah, about that. It was a month of with about 2 total kills in the entire tournament. No one actually saw each other.
$15,000. That's like they barely made minimum wage off this. The prize pool only.
But it kind of started this little mini TSM NRG rivalry there. There was some banter on Twitter.
I heard about this. A Twitter dust-up.
There was a match earlier on in the tournament where NRG killed TSM, and then they started, teabagging, shooting their bodies, all that stuff. So TSM repaid the favor by beating them to win a game, and then putting them kind of ahead in points to win the whole thing. So, of course, TSM Imperial Hall decided to...
Imperial Hall is a player on TSM.
Yeah, he's pretty much like the team captain. He's like the IGL of that team. One of the best Apex Legends pros in the scene, for sure. So Imperial Hall posted a video on Twitter showing NRG shooting their bodies, and then editing in that scene from The Last Dance of Michael Jordan pretty much saying, and I took that personally.
Not only is this guy an Apex Legends pro, he's also a pro memer.
And then he immediately followed that with the clip of TSM kind of destroying NRG to win a game in the finals. And then, obviously put him ahead in points. So posting that kind of made NRG Sweet, who's a player on NRG, pretty salty about it. So they had some banter back and forth in the replies. So maybe an NRG TSM rivalry in Apex scene.
Finally, something exciting about Apex Legends.
Well, that's not the only, I guess, exciting thing that happened is there's a new game mode in Apex Legends that just got released today. It's called Apex Legends Arena. It's like a 3v3 deathmatch, essentially. But this kind of begs the question, do you think another Apex Legends game mode will ever make it to the esports scene? Like, will they make a separate esport for the other Apex Legends game mode, or will they add extra game modes to kind of fulfill a new kind of esport for Apex?
I don't know. I don't know if Apex Legends has the clout that similar games do. Like Rocket League has a couple of different not really game modes, I guess, but you can see 2v2 tournaments, 3v3 tournaments, etc. And like Call of Duty, which is a huge name, can do a couple of different game modes. They have their Warzone, which is like their battle royale, or they're just their straight up deathmatch modes, that sort of thing. I don't know if Apex has the same clout and can pull that off.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I didn't really get to see too much of the game mode. They've been having absolutely destroyed by server issues on release, of course. It doesn't look like there's a lot really to the game mode right now. I don't think there's a rank yet or anything like that, but
Right.
It's interesting to see that they're kind of taking their core gameplay mechanics and making new modes.
But don't get me wrong, I do like to see innovation, especially from a game that's like not necessarily in the S tier of esports. It's definitely neat to see, and I think it pushes the whole scene forward.
I mean, I don't have the stats on me, but I assume Battle Royale esports is less viewed than how Valorant's doing, CS:GO, etc. So maybe they're seeing that and they're like, should we dip our toes into a different mode here?
Well, I think they have to. There's Battle Royale is a lot of fun to play, but it's terrible to watch. You can't keep track of 100 different players or.
It isn't the most spectator-friendly game mode, that's for sure.
So there's one more piece of news that we wanted to talk about. Well, as you may have heard, TSM Cutler was benched on Monday. This makes me angry because I know it has nothing to do with the fact that he went like 2-17 against Immortals, and everything to do with another number: his age. Cutler was 32. As a fellow boomer, I know what it feels like to be discriminated against in a gaming space. I know what it feels like to get absolutely rolled by someone who's still in Algebra 2. Cutler was a role model for old farts like me. He played smart, not fast. He was always one step ahead and one foot in the grave. Despite his age, Cutler was on the cutting edge. He asked tough questions like, what the hell is a TikTok? And can you fit a hearing aid under a gaming headset? Cutler may have been carried by his team, but do you know what Cutler carried for his team? Hard candies. His pockets were always full of Werther's Originals. Don't underestimate that. Cutler may be trading in his TSM tag for one from AARP, but Cutler didn't lose TSM. TSM lost Cutler. Don't put out a silver alert, though, because he's going to be just fine. To Cutler personally, I want you to know that in my book, you're the best to ever put on a TSM jersey with socks and sandals. I know it might feel bad to be benched, but look on the bright side. Now you can spend more time with your grandkids or feeding birds at the park. So Cutler, keep your head up high and your pants up higher. Good luck and Godspeed, and sincerely, come on the podcast.
Well, that was beautiful.
And I mean that, Cutler. If you're listening to this, come on the podcast.
Ryan told me when we were going over what we wanted to go over this episode, he's like, he wanted to touch on the news about Cutler. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure he'll just bring it up and address it. This is not what I expected. This is as new to you guys as it is to me. But also, unfortunately, this is back-to-back. Our first two episodes, we mentioned somebody struggled in some Valorant series, and the next week or so, they lost their starting spot. So I'm starting to think we're cursed when we talk about Valorant.
Well, cursed, or we have a strange power. Like, for instance, you know what would be really funny? If TSM drafted you, Dave. TSM the Dave Cage. I'm manifesting it right now. Somebody has to go 2-17 on TSM. Might as well be you.
Yeah, I mean, that's my specialty. In the silver rankings, that is, which...
If you ask me, it's actually harder than pro players because you can't depend on your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the matchmaking. I assume that in silver, it is pros. It's just my matchmaking is messed up or something. I don't know. It's got to be something along those lines. So who do you think is going to fill in for Cutler? Do you think they're just going to put Brax in? I don't know if that was officially announced or anything like that. I know Brax was practicing and everything with them.
I think that's the most likely scenario, that you end up with Brax. I would like to see, if you're asking about my fantasy team here, I would love to see I know Shanks is a free agent right now. I think he's good.
Somebody get this man a Shanks jersey or something,
Yeah,
or like a
please.
signed photo.
Shanks, can you send me like one of your socks, maybe? I can put it under my pillow and smell it when I go to sleep.
You're still not going to be hitting any off shots. So.
I would like to see Shanks or... Oh, you know what? I would like to see Shanks. And now that Cloud9 and TSM are both losers, I would love to see... I think, and I'm serious about this, I think Leaf would be a good fit for TSM.
Dude, Leaf's a stud.
Leaf is a stud. Leaf looks great.
I don't see how if Cloud9 would ever let go of him. I mean, they already lost tens.
Yeah, so what's the big deal? Just go back to being a farm team for the upper echelon.
That's true. But man, that guy is a stud for sure.
Yeah, he's really great.
I honestly thought Cloud9 was going to win it all.
Yeah, they looked like it.
But then version 1 came out of nowhere. I don't even know who they are. I probably should, but
More like a Virgin one. These guys play too many video games, am I right?
yeah. Go outside. Touch grass, like the kids say.
Cutler does not know what you mean when you say touch grass.
Yeah, he's
Cutler
like
was born in a field, like next to a barn in the 1800s.
yeah. The only thing he knows about grass is like his satisfying sprinkler system that he shows off to
Yeah.
the neighborhood.
Cutler's a yard guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a yard guy. He's always late to all the scrims because he's just out there making sure.
Oh, man.
But one of the big free agents out there right now is JC Stani. He left Immortals. It looked like it was him leaving Immortals and not him getting kicked off Immortals. But his two agents are Jet and Astra, although he can never play Jet if Wardell's on the same team. Other kind of Valorant topics here while we're on this game. We swear we're not a Valorant-only podcast. Is the new map Breeze. They just announced that it will not be being played in the rotation for the Masters tournament in Iceland.
How do you feel about that?
I think that's the right choice. I feel like, it already seems pretty rigorous being a pro with these huge tournaments and back-to-back games and everything. At least let them practice a map for more than a few weeks after especially going on this huge grind of a tournament. Let them at least learn the map properly, or, you know what I mean? I think it's like the best, I guess, competitive integrity decision. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think it might be time for a hot take.
Uh-oh.
My hot take, make them play Breeze. I was very disappointed to hear this news. I was really looking forward to see some pros play on Breeze. Quite frankly, I don't want to wait. I sound like a spoiled little kid, but I don't want to wait. I think watching pros, my reasoning is this. If there's a map that hasn't been played to death by the pros, there is a chance for some really interesting things to happen, right? Some cheese, some weird strategies, just like some really different stuff that you won't get on the maps that have been played, 100,000 times. And that is entertaining. And what is esports supposed to do? It's supposed to entertain you. And I understand that it may not produce the best competitive results, but it would certainly be the most fun to watch.
Yeah, the wild card.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and it's not like you can make it 2 out of 3. It's not like winner of Breeze takes all.
Right. Yeah, they still get their map ban and everything like that, and their map picks.
I mean, ban Breeze if you want to be no fun, but wouldn't you rather ban Sentinels away from Haven or something? Makes it for interesting decisions. That's all I'm saying.
You have pros in there that's never even played the map. They're stumbling down that trash chute, oh yeah. All of a sudden they're in the middle of mid, just getting sniped at just not checking any corners. They're trying to smoke off these huge archways that are twice the size of smokes.
Yeah, stop making pros check corners. Nobody wants to see it. We've all seen pros check corners. More falling through trap doors, please.
I definitely agree with you that it would definitely be very entertaining to watch them walking the wrong way to B or something like that. It's also very fun to play. And
Yeah, it's a good map. Well done, Riot.
Yeah, we like it a lot. I would like to see, other people play it, so it'd be a good way.
What's the strategy? Just show me where to stand, for the love of God.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely be entertaining. Again, I definitely see both sides, but I guess Riot wanted to stay on the competitor's side for now, because they know they'll get the views regardless.
I mean, is there anything else, or is that it for the podcast this week?
I honestly think that's really it for this week. It was a pretty quiet week for TSM related
esports.
Yeah. Yeah. For other teams, it's a very exciting week to be podcasters. But next week, the Siege Invitational starts.
I think that's it for the podcast this week. If for some reason your brain is like a milkshakey sludge and you want to hear more of me and Dave, where can they find us, Dave?
Our current handles are at the TSM Talk and on Twitter and the TSM Talk on YouTube. We're currently updating our handles to become the new name of Fanboys. We're deciding to go with that approach instead of, sticking with the TSM Talk and kind of confusing all the TSM related podcasts. So we're going to be updating the handles at some point. We'll add it in the descriptions of YouTube and post it on Twitter and everything. But for now, we're still the TSM Talk.
They will be updated post-haste.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.